Hello, everybody. My name is Ian, and I am presenting on the topic of Viennoiseries for the country of Austria. First, I want to give a bit of a disclaimer. I'm a native English speaker, but unfortunately, that is the only language I'm truly comfortable in. So I will do my best, but I want to apologize in advance for any words or names that I mess up. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So, starting with the geography. Austria is a country within the continent of Europe, and German is the predominant language spoken there. Its capital city is called Vienna, and the country has a landmass of about 32,000 miles squared, which puts it roughly on par with the size of the state of South Carolina. Additionally, the country boasts a population of around 9 million people as of 2024. Moving on to the history. The origins of Viennoiseries start with a little pastry called Kipferl, documented as early as the 1200s, although they were likely made even before that. Also, part of the history is the distinct baking techniques included, most notably laminated baking, which is something I'll expand on in a little bit. Its founding is credited towards August Zang, who was an Austrian soldier, entrepreneur, journalist, and baker who purchased and made a bakery in Paris back in 1839 that was so popular and successful that bakers from all across the city began to imitate him. They then modified and improved upon the recipe for the Kipferl, developing the croissant we know and love today. On the right, you can see a Kipferl up top and a croissant down below for comparison. It is important to define what a viennoiserie is to avoid any confusion. Viennoiserie is a French word directly borrowed into English, and the meaning of it translated is things in the style of Vienna. Now, one of the biggest defining characteristics of Viennoiseries is their distinct flavor and texture, often cited as a cross between your typical bread and a delicious pastry. For something to be a Viennoiserie, it has to be both sweetened and the dough enriched by either butter, milk, eggs, or some combination thereof. While it's not a perfect metric, often viennoiseries are described as either flaky, light, buttery, or delicate. As for classifying viennoiseries, there are two major categories that are defined by the baking technique used. The first is what we referenced earlier, called laminated baking, where butter, or occasionally some other lipid, is folded in layers into the dough. The other is unlaminated, where the dough is still sweetened and enriched, but not layered with butter or fat like laminated dough. The croissant is a prime example of a laminated viennoiserie, and brioche of an unlaminated viennoiserie. Now, in addition to croissants and brioche, there are dozens of other examples of viennoiseries, and one of the more popular varieties is referred to as the chocolatine, also called pain au chocolat or a chocolate croissant, though this last term can be a little misleading as it is an independent pastry from a croissant, despite the resemblance. It is typically made from laminated dough molded in a cube shape and folded over 1 or 2 bars of dark chocolate. It is one of several French viennoiseries. Another well-known viennoiserie is the cinnamon roll. In Swedish, it is called kanelbulle, and this is important because that is where the modern version of a cinnamon roll started. Now, cinnamon rolls can be either laminated or not. Both versions are valid, but the American version, also involving more frosting, cinnamon, sugar, and less varieties of spices, is often done unlaminated and is the more common international variety. Some other examples of viennoiseries include the choucho, which is a Spanish, specifically Catalan viennoiserie that is deep fried, covered in sugar, and filled with a sweet cream called crème catalane, which is quite similar to crème brulee. Now, there's a story or legend behind the name surrounding an acrobat and a baker's daughter. Supposedly, the acrobat, hiding from the baker, accidentally sneezed and got caught meeting with the baker's daughter. So, as to appease the baker, he offered a unique recipe, the shusho, named after the sneeze that gave him away. Shusho is often eaten for breakfast or with tea. Franzbrötchen is a German viennoiserie that often uses the same ingredients as a cinnamon roll, though chocolate or raisins may be added, and the baking technique is distinct. The name, translated from German to English, is French roll, although this term in English refers to a different type of bread. Like the shusho, Franzbrötchen is often eaten at breakfast, although alongside coffee is also common. Pandoro is an Italian viennoiserie that strongly resembles panettone, but is made in a different shape, typically a tower design, with 8 points, and is often dusted with icing sugar. It originated from the pastry chef Domenico Melegatti, who also named the creation. It is most often eaten at Christmas time, but is not strongly associated with a particular mealtime. Given that this is a presentation for a nutrition class, I would be remiss if I did not talk about viennoiseries in relation to nutrition. And unfortunately, the truth is they are not the most nutritious. They are generally high in calories from all the sugar, high in fats from all the butter and various lipids used in baking them, especially the laminated varieties, and they are often low in nutrients. Not all is lost, however. They can be alleviated somewhat with the right filling or pairing. To the right are arenas, a French Algerian viennoiserie made with apricot. While it is still far and away from being nutrient dense, it does demonstrate how viennoiseries can be improved upon in a nutritional perspective. Well, I hope this raises some awareness and understanding towards viennoiseries and Austrian baking and cuisine as a whole. For a food type that is so widespread, its history is often underappreciated. Thank you for your time. Oh, and here are my references.